Welcome back to another video. So this will be an update for CSM. As we can see, we have single view, multi-view, and we can also add complex single image in this case. Now we're gonna add the following turbine over here. And we see that within the input, this will be separate all distinct parts on a sheet. And let's process this. In this case, I added a print screen from CATIA with a jet engine, and we're gonna see all of those components over here. And we're gonna see that now this image that will be generated will have all of those separate parts added. Now, in this case, we can use that afterwards to generate a model. So this is the input. As you can see, the input is a little bit random. If I will go back over here, I will confirm that. This is the same input over here, so this is currently still texturing. And this was the same as well. So we see how well this was defined over here. Over here, this has a cartoonish look, and the one that I just generated now was even more cartoonish. Now, if I were gonna take a look over here at the 3D model, you're gonna see that since this is a perspective view, the models will be quite deformed over here. So we see that this is not really usable, but still it is really nice that all of those components are added within a pattern over here. So we can see the individual components. This is done directly on the image over here. As you can see, the segmented model. And over here, those will be joined together, as you can see. So the main advantage is that now for complex assemblies, we can have them divided. Now within the asset pack, I also have this case study using the same image input. And we're gonna see all of those components as they were considered by the generative AI tool to be added over here. We're gonna see the orientation for those two will be a little bit different. So while this follows the same axis as the others, this one will be rotated. If I will enter the model, this will be the output. So again, this will be something that is not usable. And using SolidWorks, I did another case study using this one. So this will be the case study. As we can see it over here, we're gonna take a look at this planetary gear. And the AI generated something like this. So it saw that there were some gears, and we have this weird bevel gear assembly over here. But other than that, we're gonna see the proportions over here for the other elements. Maybe for this electric motor, it's quite narrower, so it should be more circular like this component. And let's analyze some other elements. This one is as we can see, a side view. And in this case, since it didn't have any information regarding that, we're gonna see that it will look like this. So this should have actually been a part. But from this view, it was just visible like a rectangle, as you can see it over here. So the generative AI didn't know exactly how to define that. But over here we have a perspective view, and over here I also added textures. And we're gonna see how those proportions will be a lot better over here. So over here for the housing, for the gears, this will be not defined at all. As you can see, there will be some geometry in the middle. But still, this is quite a good example of how we can use CSM in order to generate complex elements. This was all done within the same part, as we can see it over here. And we have this one ready. So let's take a look at that one. And this will be a little better than the other. This also has textures. So this is with textures. And if I will disable the texture, the model will look like this. And you're gonna see that since this is not a computer-aided design tool, this is mainly intended for meshes, those components will not be, let's say, within parameters. So this should be over here a shaft, and it should follow the same axis, but we see that it will have some deviations. The same over here as well. But still, considering that this was generated from a screenshot from CATIA V5, I think that this is a step forward regarding generative AI. So I'm really curious what is your opinion regarding this. We see that this complex single image has been recently added. And for other elements, for example, such as a character, I think that this is quite usable. But for some other complex engineering tools, this is still a work in progress. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this kind of content. I will position a similar video over here on the left side, and I will also add a subscribe button to the right. So that's it. Thanks for watching.